Hello and welcome everyone to our very first on camera of Vision of Angels for Angel Heart Radio. I'm so nervous. Honestly, when the angels brought this really powerful guidance through, it seemed like it was going to be a piece of cake. But I'm very nervous today and very grateful to be able to share our wonderful guest, Glenyss Bourne, with you all, who is an incredible angel artist. But first, I'd like to say hello to you, Carol.
Hi, Anaya. Look, I'm just excited to be here too. And it was just a whole other world was starting this morning. And it's like we've stepped up an amazing step. And to be able to bring this on camera to those who are listening to the program is just really almost mind-boggling if I stop and think about years ago how we used to present things. So I'm just so grateful and so blessed to be here sharing this with you and with Glennys. So hi, everybody.
Thank you, Carol. And Glenyss, welcome, welcome, welcome to Angel Heart Radio and A Vision of Angels. We are so delighted to have you with us.
It is absolutely wonderful to be here. So lovely to meet you and Carol, beautiful angel mystics, beloved of the angels, and the technology angels, we're here.
Absolutely.
My technology angels are amazing. Without them, I wouldn't be doing my work.
I'm really excited to talk to you about that because what you're doing is extraordinary. I mean, I've been aware of your art for a long time now and always been in awe of it. But before we get into the program, everyone, what we'd like to do is share our prayer with you for the show today. So take a breath unless you're driving, because this will also be on Blog Talk Radio and all our other platforms, Spreaker, and there are so many. I can't even keep up with how many places. iHeartRadio, there's so many places that we're available for you. So take a breath. Put your hand on your heart and settle into the angel's love. Dear angels, and call upon all your love and wisdom, all your support and grace and insight. Archangel Gabriel, thank you for the messages you will share through us on today's program. Archangel Jophiel, please help us to stay centered in the sure faith that we are beautiful beings and perfectly capable of expressing our beauty in the world. Archangel Michael, thank you for all the strength and courage you give us. Archangel Uriel, thank you for lighting our path clearly. Our prayer today is that we share exactly what needs to come through for those who need to hear it, and that we are able to share and spread the angels' love and wisdom, God's magnificent unconditional love through us, with all those who need to hear it, feel it, and see it. Thank you. Beautiful.
That's beautiful, beautiful.
I'm a bit spaced out now, which sometimes happens with these breaths. I've got to go into a whole other realm. And it's a beautiful place to be. So, Glenyss, can you share with us how you very first, way back whenever it was, and however small it may have seemed at the time, began to realize that you were in the company of angels?
I've always been aware of spirit, but not really as angels until one night I was relaxing. I have 4 children and I was a very busy mother, and I used to take time late at night just to have time on my own. And I got out some watercolour paints just for fun and started to play, just testing them out. And I produced these incredible images of 2 angels, just fast, full of energy. And then I realized that these angels were with me and that I had work to do with them. Wow. So I had been doing a lot of spiritual things, but I wasn't really aware of the angels as such. I'd been making flower remedies. And you know that flowers and trees have their own angels? Yeah, the devas. And I worked with the Davers, and that was wonderful. And I had done Reiki, and that really awakened connection to spirit, and I guess to angels, but I wasn't really aware of them so much as angels until I did these paintings. And it was only when I was about to become a Reiki master that these paintings came through.
Oh, right.
Really, really important.
Wonderful, isn't it? Because it shows that when we look at someone like you, Glenys, who, I mean, you're producing such incredible work, and it's so plainly obvious looking at your artwork and even just seeing you, that you're very connected to the angelic realms and spirit and the Devas and all these beautiful beings, that sometimes our beginnings seem very, very small, but it's having that trust, isn't it? And moving forward with that, so that as it begins to open up and our heart begins to expand with the love and joy of it, we begin to move ever deeper into this journey that's particular to us.
Absolutely. And to accept the job that you're given.
That's exactly right. It's about trusting and moving in and trusting what we're receiving, and then being able to play with it. And I think that's the exciting thing, just relaxing and playing with it and just going into the energy.
The playing is so important. That's what I do when I paint. I play. That's how I began, was playing. Not really trying to produce anything in particular, just letting it go and working with the energy. And I always go into a really meditative state when I do art. I was an art teacher, and I'd drawn and painted from a very early age, and I just went into this wonderful state. I used to do sculptures, and I'd go out into my little bungalow and sculpt, and I always felt the energy going into these sculptures, and I would begin from nothing, but they came to life in a way. But my main fear was that I wouldn't wake up in time to pick up the children from school, because I'd go such a deep state. But they used to always bring me out of it in time to pick them up, get in the car and drive. Give me a few minutes first to centre and to ground myself, and then I could go and get them. But it's a lovely, deep meditation. And of course, anything that you love to do can be a really deep meditative tool to connect to spirit, to connect to the running, crochet, anything.
Anything.
Anything at all. Yeah.
It's the literal understanding of that, isn't it? And kind of awareness and acceptance as well. And the angels are amazing alarm clocks.
Oh, yeah.
Carol, you know how amazing they are in that way as well. It's the simple everyday ways, Carol, isn't it?
And this is it. And this is the part of the angels being in our lives each and every day, all day long. And it's just knowing that they're there, because they can wake us up at the right time. They can alert us to something we need to be aware of that we probably don't have in our vision at this time. And all of the things that we do in our day-to-day life, it's just the angels are there with everything that we do. And we're just so blessed to have that contact with the angels.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
And to understand that we do have that contact. Of course, everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, we had a comment, which I'm going to find, Carol, if you wouldn't mind continuing on. There was a comment on Facebook this morning that I'm going to see if I can find, Glenys, because it was such perfect timing, and I'd like to read it to you and have you respond. So, Carol, I'll have
okay, so we chatted the other day on Skype, Glenys, and you were telling us about when you were very ill. So I think that would be really interesting for everybody listening to hear, because it's a major part of your story.
Well, it is. And it was well after I became aware of the angels and started to paint them. And I thought I was zooming off on my spiritual journey. And suddenly I became extremely ill. And I had to have an operation. And I spent nearly a year in hospital. Every operation I had went wrong. in a bed of pain, but I learned so much from it. The first thing I did do is when I realised I was going to be in there for some time, is I had all my angel paintings, or a lot of them, brought into the room, and I hung them over the paintings that were in the room of the hospital, and I could enhance the feeling, and I could feel them there with me all the time, and they made it bearable. It's amazing that they show you ways to cope.
Yes.
And I got so many insights from that illness about people who are very ill and dying and how to treat them. And I completely lost my fear of death. And I think that one of the worst things in Western society is this fear of death that most people have. Mm-hmm. If you have that, if you understood it was birth into another realm, another life, going home, you wouldn't be frightened, and it would help the loved ones to let them go. Let them go with joy. Know they're still there in a different way, that it should be really a joyful thing, a release of pain and the completion of a life. But that's one of my missions, is with the images. They seem to help people at a deep level, and mostly what I do is unspoken. They help people to realise that they are spirit, and to have this understanding within that will take away part of that fear of death and acceptance of life as it is, life and death, birth, life, death.
Yeah. And to understand, for people to understand that even when somebody has made their transition, they're still there. It's not as if, they've left us and we will never see them, feel their energy or whatever, because they're still there, and we can talk to them if we want to, even if we don't believe in any of these things. And I think that sometimes when we just sit and talk, for anybody who hasn't gone down that journey, you can find so much comfort just sitting, relaxing, and just talking to your family member or friend, whoever, and the relief and the joy that you would feel within if you did something like that. And what you're saying is very much needed, that people need to understand this.
And also remembering it doesn't take anything away from our very human experience of grief, because it's such an important part of our journey. I think it's so multifaceted. And when my parents made their transition very close together, I just had no understanding that I would ever feel that way. And it's still taking time. Yet at the same time, like you said, Glenys, insights come in, understandings, allowing myself to realize that there's so many aspects to me. My inner children needed attention, and I needed to be able to express how I was feeling, because I tried not to feel those things because, hey, I'm a spiritual woman. I knew they were fine, so I couldn't understand why I was feeling that way. So it gives us that time to pay attention to ourselves, where we are, and it helped me to begin to release the expectations that I had to do it in a certain way. I had to grieve in a certain way. I had to not grieve at all, for example. So if you're watching this or listening to this and you're going through your own grief journey, please be very kind to you and very gentle, and allow yourself the nurture that you need. Give it to yourself. Like Carol said, like when my brother passed, he was 22. I just found myself telling everyone at the traffic lights, on the train, on the bus, walking down the street, and it was almost uncontrollable. But it's part of the journey, isn't it? Knowing, even if we don't feel it, which I didn't feel it at the time with my parents, even though I knew the angels were there, I didn't feel the comfort. Just as Carol said, keep talking to them. It's so valuable and so vital, because they haven't left us. but our grief, it can be so palpable that we can't feel beyond it at that time.
Yes, I think that this is one of the really amazing lessons that I learned when my mother made her transition, because I knew that she was at peace, the same thing. And being a spiritual person, you know, that was, I knew she was at peace and with her loved ones. But my physical self had to grieve. My spiritual self knew she was fine, but my physical self had to grieve. And I helped that grieving by the talking to her. But these are just cycles we all have to go through, because we're on this physical plane and we need to feel emotion, and that grief is one of the emotions that we feel, and we balance that out with the love. So, you know, life to me is all about the balance, and we bring the balance into our lives. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting aspect of ourselves that we learn as we go along, because that's what we're here for as well. Learning and growing spiritually and physically in our daily life. It's just a wonderful journey, really.
It is a wonderful journey. It's a very tough journey sometimes. It feels tough. Glenyss, but there's so much joy in it as well.
Yeah.
Glenyss, I couldn't find that comment, but it was something along the lines of, it was one of the posts I created with the angels and shared about the angels' love and support. And I'm sorry to the person who I'm speaking about. I just don't recall your name. I read it this morning, and she was saying, yeah, okay, so I believe in angels. We're all supported by angels, but how do I believe? How do I believe they're really there? What's been your experience of that, Glenyss?
Well, a rather interesting experiences. So, well, once in the car, we're driving along, and the feelings that you get, they come from the angels. These intuitions often come from there. They don't come within me. This didn't come from within me, because I didn't have this information. And suddenly I said to my husband, stay away from that car, for no reason at all. And surprisingly, he did what I asked. That's the first miracle. And he stayed away, and this car took off in the wet from the lights, and it swerved all across the road and rolled. And if we'd have been close to it, we would have been involved. And there was nothing to show me that this would be so. It was outside. It was angelic help and guidance. And so if everyone back in their lives, they will find that there are things like that happen all the time. And they can relate to it. And where does it come from? It comes from otherwhere, not from within us, because we don't have the information. It comes from outside. It comes from these loving angelic helpers who take care of us. And no wonder we needed a guardian angel. We've all got at least one. Yeah. Because this journey we take on earth, as you say, is a difficult one. It's very, very hard. But lots of
souls.
Yes.
Glenyss, you've just reminded me of a story. Carol, I want to know if you've got any stories as well. Same kind of thing. I was coming home, I was driving. I'd taken the exit to go to the suburb where I live. And the roads were very quiet. It was dark, late, about 10 o'clock at night. The light was green, but something yelled at me, stop now. And I put the brakes on like so fast, and I pulled up at the lights, and I sat there. A car went right through the red light. I had another instance, the same exact thing in the dark when I was about 20, I suppose. And the same voice, it was Michael, of course, I know now, stop the car now. And I slammed the brakes on, and I stopped in the middle of the road. There's no one else around me. And a black horse galloped right across the road, like within inches of my car.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's that continual protection. Do you have any stories like that, Carol?
I have lots of little ones. Like, you'll be driving somewhere, especially alone at night, and you, instead of following your usual route, you'll get told, don't go that way tonight, go whichever another way, And sure enough, you find out the next day there's been a serious accident on that road about the time you would have been travelling. And things like that happen quite often. Or I'll be going to, say, a certain shopping centre. Okay, no, we're not going to go shopping there today, Carol. We're not going there today. Go somewhere else. And sure enough, there's been a problem there on the way to there. So it's about trusting and listening to these messages when you get them. And that's the important thing, because we get them a lot. Not necessarily ones like that, but good messages and happy messages. And when we tune in and listen, it's amazing the messages that we get during the day and at night. And I love it when I wake up in the middle of the night and they're talking to me. It's just beautiful. So I just think that's gorgeous. But I do tell them I need to go back to sleep. So.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's sometimes too, like you say, Carol, it's the little things. It's not always about avoiding a car accident or something major. It is that little thing, like sometimes, like you say, you might just normally do something, but you get a feeling, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to walk down the street, go into that shop, and you just meet someone amazing. Or I might see someone who looks like they're really struggling, and I just call the angels in silently and see them surrounded. Little things like that.
That used to happen a lot on the train when I'd catch the train to work. When I was working, I'd see somebody get in and I'd say, oh, you are in a really bad space. So I would just sit and do the same thing, ask the angels to be with them and to help them through whatever they were going through at the time.
And a good thing for empaths to remember that it's not your pain. It's very easy to get caught up and feel like we need to take the pain from people or fix it for them. That's a big journey for empaths.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Big journey. Can't do it.
We can't do that. That's their journey.
Yeah.
But we can be aware of it and ask the angels to support them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, Glenys, you were telling us the other day about one of the things that you find quite healing and helping people is just sitting and having a cup of tea and a chat.
Yes. Well, I have my gallery, which is called Angel Sanctuary, Angel Gallery and Healing Centre in Frankston. And it's sort of set up whenever I'm there, people can just come, and I've met the most incredible people I don't know, they can just come. And often they're in pain of some sort. But I don't believe in challenging or anything. You invite them in and have a cup of tea, have a chat, just love them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful. And the things that I've had happen, there have been incredible. The healings that have happened, just low key, not hands-on Reiki, not I can do this, not putting yourself higher than anyone, just seeing them as a beautiful soul and inviting them into your life and your energy and loving them. And it's so powerful, so powerful.
And that's done a lot to heal their pain without you stepping into it, just by you accepting them as they are, being there with loving support. And that's the most amazing way of doing things. I really think that's gorgeous.
Really beautiful. It's really beautiful. I don't believe that people should put themselves up on pedestals.
No.
Better than anyone else. We are all equal. We're all magnificent souls having this journey, but some are just having a tougher journey.
Yeah.
And help to them, and particularly if you've had a tough journey yourself and you've been through that experience, that's a great gift because you can understand. That's why my time in a hospital in the pain was so valuable, because I went through all of that and I can understand, how bad people can feel, what the pain can be like, Yes.
Absolutely.
And it enables you to accept them and to help and not to judge. That's a big lesson.
Oh, big.
No judgments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glenyss, I love what you're saying, and I agree, and I would like to share a little bit with when I first started like really consciously connecting with the angels, and in 2003 I did Doreen Virtue's Angel Intuitive Certification. It was fabulous. I became so full of spiritual ego. you know,
Oh,
because I was going to read for people, and which I did beautifully, I might add. And I was going to assist people and support people, but you know, it was all about, oh, I need the right space, and I need quiet, and I'm going to need some candles and a few statues, and I'm making light of it, but at the time that felt right for me. And what I'm saying about this is, if anyone listening's been on that journey or is sort of coming out of that journey yourself, and you feel in retrospect that you maybe experience or having experienced a spiritual ego, it's actually not a problem. It's a very vital tool, because it helped me to really learn so much about myself and how I could best serve the angels' work. And it also gave me the opportunity, like I'm doing now, to look back and go, oh, crikeys. And, you know, have a bit of a laugh about it, because in retrospect, it's quite hilarious in some respects when I think about myself, not the situation, because it was a valuable learning and growth tool. However, I was putting myself on a pedestal. And I soon came to learn that the only work that gets done on a pedestal is falling off it. And that's valuable work. Falling off it is valuable. So don't be afraid to fall off your own pedestal, and don't be afraid to say to yourself, you know what? It's true. That's exactly how I felt. And that's okay as well. Like you just said, Glenys, letting go of the judgment around it. And it's lovely now to be able to share the story, have a bit of a giggle, because bless my beautiful heart, I was so into this desire, but feeling it had to be a certain way. And I think most of us have been through that. And it's okay, isn't it?
yes, you soon learn that it's not the best way.
Yeah.
You get knocked down. We have these journeys that teach us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teaches us, yeah.
So I'm wondering if you can share with us. Sorry, Glenys. I haven't got my glasses on. Put them back on. I didn't see you finished. I'm wondering if you can share with us about your art, your incredible art, because you shared with Carol and I that you started off with watercolors and you ended up going digital because you're actually painting with light. So can you share with us how it felt for you and your experience of putting this amazing paint on paper in the beginning, and the transition that it led you on to expand and create in a way that feels absolutely wonderful? And look at the results behind you. Oh, I didn't tell everybody. Glennys's website is anaheart.com. No, it's not an A-heart. I've got an A on the brain. What is it? How do you pronounce it?
It could be an A, but no.
How do you pronounce it, please?
Anaheart.
Anaheart. Thank you.
It is an anglicisation of the Sanskrit word for the heart chakra, the opening of the heart chakra, which is where that our spiritual journey really begins. Yes, the opening of the heart.
Beautiful. So what was it like, Glenys? You've put pen to paper, you've become a Reiki master, you've put your paint to paper, and all of a sudden you find that you're creating arguably extraordinary art full of such incredibly high vibrational frequency. What was it like for you, and what did you do? How did you move on? How did you create?
Look, I was just playing. So what I did, these two angels that I painted, I knew they were to do with the Reiki, and that I had to do something with them. But the watercolour was really bad watercolour. It was $2 shop.
Really? Yeah.
With it, so the colours were sort of dull, and I think that was part of the plan, the divine plan. So I actually took them down to a printer to get them printed, so that people could have them, and they did do remarkable work. And of course, they scanned them, and somehow the colour was finer and better. And so I scanned them into my computer. And in those days, I think I had about 20 meg of RAM, something like that. I'm no goodness. And I had a little photo program that came with the scanner that I bought for my son. And I started to play with the colours and the forms and just play. And the results were incredible. It was such fun, you know, and of course it was bright and full of light. And that's how it began. And then the computers got better and I got better, the programs got better. And I was suddenly creating these magnificent pieces that I felt that didn't really come from me. They came through me. Now, people ask, do you see an angel in front of you and paint it? And I say, no, I'm not that good. I'm not such a good artist that I could do that. They sort of tend to do the painting. I think they come through and do it. And I just paint and play until it's done. And I tend to know when it's done. And the real difficult part of it, of course, when you see it on your computer, you know, if you look at your photographs on your computer screen, they look magnificent. You print them out and they look completely different sometimes. The printers just don't quite do it. And that has been my journey, to learn how to print them so that it still has the light in it. So I've sort of tried so many printers. I'm the queen of the printers. And I choose the papers and the printers in order to get the correct colours and light. But I'm pretty good now, and they've taught me well. It's all come from the angels. All of the technology, I talk about the technology angels. Without them, I still would think when the man, when he brought the computer, talked about a mouse, I was looking on the floor. I'd still be at that technology computers. That's where I began. And if I can, you know, end up doing this, anybody can. You just let go and
Yeah.
let it happen. And don't try not to have a lot of ego about it. Oops.
Oh, it's not me. I'm looking for my phone going, I turned that down.
Me, I'm pressing go away. Here we are.
That's happened to us all, Glennys. You don't worry about that. It's happened to us all.
Yeah. Dogs barking, the works.
Oh, it's helicopters in the middle of a beautiful meditation. Doesn't matter. It's all part of the human experience.
That's right.
It is.
That's right. Yeah.
So does that answer the question?
It does. And it's fabulous because it really ties in so beautifully with what you were saying before. It's just start somewhere. You started with really poor quality $2 watercolour paints and look where it's led you. And I'd like to go to you, Carol, and I'll see what you ask next, because I've got a question in mind already. It'll be interesting to see if you could ask the same one.
Well, I've got a couple of questions in mind, so which way will I go? Okay, so do you do paintings for people? Can they come to you and you will do a painting for a person, or do you just paint and then somebody comes into your studio or sanctuary and they can then purchase one that they connect with? How does that work for you in your day?
Well, I don't usually do paintings for individuals.
Right.
Occasionally I have, if they have asked and I felt, and I always say I don't know if I can. If it comes to me, I will. But mostly I just paint them, and there's such a huge variety of them, and people see them either online or at the gallery, and they can find one that, or several, that, you know, strikes them in the heart.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, they ask me often, can you help me to find the right one? And I think, okay. And the right one gets brighter. It glows. This is the angels at work. It's the most amazing thing. I had a woman come in and she wanted a picture of Jesus, a particular picture. And she came in and she walked in past about 3 paintings and she was fixated on one of them. Oh my goodness. No, but I want a picture of Jesus, she kept saying. But she'd come back to this one. She took it, put it on the couch, looked at it, and every time she looked at it, it just glowed, and she ended up taking that one away. and it was actually the Ascended Jesus.
Oh,
Amazing painting that does light up for people. But they seem to have a life of their own. They have the angelic energy in it, and I don't know how.
yeah.
That's not really my business. They do that. Yeah. I just follow instructions. I just play with it and do the best.
Have you ever painted unicorns?
No.
Unicorns keep popping into my awareness the whole time I'm looking at you, speaking with you, seeing these amazing artworks. This unicorn keeps presenting.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I love the fact that you're willing to let it go. And that was so powerful. It's not really my business. I love the fact that you're so willing to flow with what the energy is that's being shared with you in a way that is boundless in that sense, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So this painting directly behind you, you just finished that, didn't you? What can you tell us about it?
It's Archangel Michael. Now, this one, a man wanted me to paint something for him, and I said I don't know if I can, but I felt guided to do it. And actually, it's a very similar painting to this. And the painting wasn't for a business. He wanted it for a business, but it was for his healing. And I started work on it immediately, and it was quite a complex painting. And then I realised that it wasn't for the business, it was for his healing, and that I was to keep painting. And it was a trigger to get me started. And this is what often happens, is a request from someone or something will happen. It will be a trigger to start a particular painting. So this one is, if you can see, this is Archangel Uriel here at the bottom.
Yep.
And then there's Archangel Michael. And up above, a bit hard to see, there's Metatron. And in the background, there's lots of angels. There's lots of angels. And there's layer upon layer of energy and whatever. I've used lots of, I've got very good at it now, putting the various layers. It's a really powerful painting, but I haven't got a name for it. And anybody who sees this can look at this painting and come up with the name. I'd be very grateful, and perhaps send them a copy if they let me know. What about that?
Oh,
I wonder if I could get the name. I've had 1,000 names and none of them have seemed right. And I thought,
you'll know, won't you?
You'll
know. Just before the interview began, I had a different painting up, the one you saw of Archangel Raphael the other day. And I thought, no, go and get this one. It's just in the lounge room. I framed it up yesterday. And there it is. I just put it there. And then I thought, oh, maybe someone will come up with the name. Wow. It feels like a very powerful picture, very, very protective. And there are many, many angels in the background. You can't see them all, but a lot of them are covered over. But there are a lot. Yeah.
It's expansive, isn't it? Expansive and inviting. It keeps inviting me to want to get right up to the screen and really just experience what's there.
I can closer if you like.
Pardon? Oh, yeah, let's do that. I'd love to see a bit more closely, Glenys. I love this on camera stuff. Oh my God, look what's behind it.
Oh, yes. Now, can you see?
No, it's out of focus.
Too close, it's out of focus.
What about there?
No, we're not getting the focus, but I tell you what, I'm getting a lot of light. Oh, yes, I see Metatron.
Oh, you can see Metatron.
Oh, yes.
And
wow.
And other angels, as you say, are there. Wow. So if you're watching this and you feel you have a name coming to you for this painting, Anna Hart, ANAHEART.com. Drop
actually
a line. And if you give her the name that she feels is the right one, you might just get a copy of that. Oh, imagine having a copy of it for your very own.
I think we'll both have to give it a name too, Renee, and send that into Glennys. Yes, I've got a couple here too, so that's very exciting.
Oh, wow. So thank you for that. And I want to say thank you, a big shout out now to Ruth Anderson, Dr. Ruth Anderson, who is an incredible human being and spirit
Amazing.
soul teacher. She's incredible. And on my recent interview with her, on a Facebook Live interview, she was the one that really brought through the guidance from Archangel Michael, but it's really would be so valuable to start doing our shows as well, on camera. And that has been the impetus for this just coming about so quickly. So Ruth, thank you very much. It's wonderful to have, wonderful to have such loving support and guidance shared so incredibly freely.
Yes, it's the way it's all happened has been absolutely amazing and filled with so much loving energy. And that's what's been the amazing thing about working with Ruth, with the summit and the amazing women and of course Archangel Michael, he's been fantastic, but Ruth has just such a way of putting you at ease and making you feel valued and appreciated and loved by the angels and the spirit world. I just love Ruth, as you do too, Anaya, and it's been a busy little time since the last few days trying to get it up. And I have to congratulate Anaya. She's put on her technical hat, and she is, I just could vision her with a little worker's helmet on and technical officer, and here she was sorting out how to get this all on air today on camera. So it's been great.
Thank you, Carol. Right. And again, it's the angels, because what I needed to do was I could get the video, that was fine, I download it, no worries. But the audio aspect of it was downloading as a file that I'd never even heard of. And it didn't matter how many times I Googled it, I could not seem to figure out how to convert it to an MP3. So in the end, I was just about pulling my hair out. And in the end, I finally went, didn't call the angels. We know how amazing Michael is, with technology. So Michael, for God's sake, Michael, show me what to do. I'm at my wit's end. And he showed me within seconds. I already had the program to do it. I didn't realize. And when he showed me, it became so simple. And that is going to allow us to do this on camera and also be able to be heard on angelheartradio.com.
Wonderful.
Look at that. Look at that.
Amazing. Amazing.
Beautiful.
So can I ask a question of you, Glenyss, now? We were talking the other day about the plants and the angel photos. And I know that everybody will be as amazed when they hear this as I was. I just was absolutely blown away when you were talking to us about this the other day. So over to you.
All right, so I guess it's the music of the plants that you're interested in. Yes. Well, I'm absolutely on fire with guidance about this. There's a little device, I should have one here to show you that there's several devices that you can look at. And you just clip these little clips onto the leaves of a plant or into the soil and onto the leaf, and the plant will sing to you. Now, I can't tell you how beautiful it is. I realise that the energy of the plants is always there for us, and we just disregard it. And we uproot them and mow the lawn and do all sorts of things. But when you realise that they are such beautiful, loving beings, and they are so sentient, and they react to our energy, and they react to all sorts of energy. You say they haven't got ears to listen and eyes to see. No, but they're in our energy soup. And I've worked with them with my videos. I make videos, and I've actually played these angelic videos, and they have made the music for the video. They play together. They play in harmony. They enhance, if you play them their own music back to them, they play more. It's just the most amazing thing. So I've working on a video at the moment, and it's got something on it called the Angelic Symphony, and it's by the Angel Sanctuary plant orchestra or choir, I call it.
Yeah.
And it's magnificent. It's like a symphony. Just amazing. And it's in time to the flowing angels going across the screen. So hopefully I'll have that done soon. Just amazing. I have got one that I have done called Silver Rain, which is amazing. And that's a little, this is it here. It's a little peace lily playing using a very simple device that's fairly inexpensive. And I played it when I was like in a meditation, and it just kept me in this wonderful, wonderful state. And it wanted me to make the video for it, so I made the video for the music. But,
so are they available for purchase either as a DVD, I'm guessing, or an MP4, a digital?
Well, I've got an MP3 of the music of this one on at my Etsy store, and you can also purchase the DVD and a music CD comes. It's an hour music CD, which it's very tinkly, like raindrops, and I called it Silver Rain. It just came to me afterwards. And it's got a 14-minute video as well, so you can play either, and it's extremely relaxing. And hopefully I'll have the other one, which should be about a 17-minute one soon. That will be available, and I sell those through Etsy.
Okay, what's the address for your Etsy store before we go any further?
I'm Amazing Angel Paintings on Etsy.
I love it. Angel paintings on Etsy. That's fantastic. And on Facebook, you are, hang on, I've got you here on Facebook. Now it's GLENYSS.
Yes.
Because I keep putting 2 N's in, it doesn't have 2 N's.
Nobody spells
Bourne. That's Carol, I've been doing it forever. So there's Glenyss Bourne Angel Art and Glenyss Bourne. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like on my phone. See those 2 at the top there, everyone? That's what you're looking for. I love doing the camera stuff. Look at this. Try doing that to a microphone in a recording studio. So there you go. That's what you're looking for. Go find Glenyss, like a page, make a connection. If you have a name for that beautiful piece of artwork.
Silver Rain. Oh,
and
the artwork.
That's the Silver Rain is for the video DVD. Is it DVD? I'm guessing. You keep saying video. DVD?
Is a DVD, and there's also an MP3. So there's 2 discs.
Perfect. Beautiful. So that's really wonderful. So I'm nearly drawn now, and then I'll come to you, Carol, unless you've got something you'd particularly like to.
No, you go.
I'm really drawn now. Behind you on your left, there is a beautiful painting that's full of mauves and lavenders, it looks like to me, and it's kind of on an angle. What can you tell me about next door? Left.
One here.
Yes.
This one, right,
yeah.
And you can see it.
Yes.
That's Astaria. I'll see if I can shift it around so you can see. It's very hard. The light from the...
Wow.
So beautiful.
It's amazing.
Love the colours. Oh, that is gorgeous.
She's like a cosmic angel that looks after the universe, you know, the galactic angel.
Yeah.
And so there's all sorts of, you know, space-like things. And her name she was a very early painting, and it was one of the first names to come so very strongly in what she did. Astaria. Now let's have a look.
Astaria? Is that was that her name? Astaria?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find Archangels, Angels. This is sorry. Page 37.
What are you looking at?
I'll tell you what the message. All of these come with messages.
Oh, they all come with messages.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and
wait, there's more.
In the, I don't know if you can you see that there?
It's
anyway,
a little bit blurry, but yes, I can see it.
Anyway, this is Astaria. Astaria oversees the cosmos, She protects and guides all sentient beings and upholds divine justice. She helps all to raise their vibration and to realise their life's goal. Her message for us is, I oversee the universe and see that all is in divine right order. Call upon me when you seek to enlighten your life and fulfill your dreams, and I will instantly be with you.
Wow, that is beautiful. So what's the book? And is this on your Etsy store as well?
Yes, yeah. This is the latest one. I finished it a little while ago, called Illuminations. And it's
Wow.
Lots of angels and archangels. There's Astaria and lots of Jesus pictures.
I was going to say, look at Jesus. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
It's beautiful. Let's read you. This is beautiful. Jesus loves you at divine light. You are eternal. There is no death. You merely step out of this body and begin another great adventure in different form. You come home to yourself.
Oh wow. That's
beyond measure. Do not fear, for I am ever with you. Love lives forever. It is never lost.
now when I
How
wrote
amazing.
with the angels, I remember writing, coming home to me is the warmest place I've ever been. So I realise now this is Jesus really helping me with that part of my journey. How beautiful.
It's amazing. And I'm not a writer. I mean, I can tell you a story about how the books came about, which was quite extraordinary. Do you want to hear what's about it?
Yes.
Well, it was just after I started the angel paintings, my daughter nagged me. She's very influenced by Angelic and comes in many forms, and she nagged me to do some angel cards. And I didn't want to, and I don't particularly like writing. It's not my thing. And anyway, she wanted the angel cards, so I agreed. And I sat down and I wrote a whole long list of words, probably into the 100 words, you know, divine justice, various things. And then I put them on the back of these little angel pictures, and I printed them out, and the printer printed them beautiful. I got 2 copies, one for each of us, one little box of angel cards, very small, with just the one word on the back and the angel picture. And then they refused to print. No printing allowed. And something else, and I don't really want to know. I didn't really want to. I kept thinking they want phrases, they want more, but I didn't want to do it. Anyway, she nagged me, and the angels nagged me, and I finally sat down at the computer and I looked at the long list of words. And with every word I looked at, every time I looked at a word, a message came through. So this is the first one that I did. That sacred
vision.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot in it. All of those messages came through in the one afternoon. Wow. I sat at the computer, and so I wrote a book.
In an afternoon.
Very simple. You are unique. Do not allow anyone to put you in a box. Value your individuality and your freedom. This is like a guide for living with the divine. There are some simple. Open your heart and let in the sunshine. And there are some that are just so profound, and they started to get longer and longer, and I couldn't keep up. And I was getting very agitated. And I said, these won't fit on the cards. And then I heard the little voice, and don't usually hear it. And it was laughing, and it said, it's a book. And that's the first time. No idea at all. It was incredible. But I couldn't write like this. I'm not a great writer, but when it comes through, it's amazing. So this one here, it comes with a beautiful picture. This doesn't do it justice. Is punctuate your life with moments of stillness. For in such moments your true nature is revealed. The churning river moves the sediment, but reflects nothing. Poetic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So this
You're amazing.
well,
they're amazing through you.
Amazing.
And you're amazing to receive it, because you're receiving this. And that's it's a great message to say to people, okay, so you might be feeling you're not up to the task, or you're not a writer. Like when they first asked me to start writing, I said, have you lost your angelic minds? You know, I can't spell right.
Absolutely.
And like you, they just laughed and said, well, that doesn't matter.
No, just do it.
Just do it.
This is the picture I was showing you. This is it in its full glory. Can you see that one?
Kind of, sort of. Can you see it, Carol?
Yeah, let's have a look again now. Start talking, Glenyss, so you come up on screen, full screen.
Okay, so this one is a little book called Your Guardian Angel, and it's for children. It's a picture book for children or adults, and particularly it's very simple. And this says, if you are feeling sad and lonely, take 3 deep breaths and think of your guardian angel, and you will begin to feel better. So this is just 16 pages of lovely reproduction, photographic. So at last I can do them justice with a really nice printer there. Mm-hmm. I do all of these. We print them ourselves. My husband binds them. He's now a great fan of the angels.
Wonderful.
Yeah. He calls them girls, and I wonder how Archangel Michael feels about that.
He's got a good sense of humour. He would understand.
This is what you need to realise, you know, that you don't have to be pure and good. They love you anyway.
Yeah.
They're there for you anyway, and you can laugh. They love a good laugh.
They do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they don't eat chocolate and do all that sort of thing.
It's a beautiful journey, Glenyss, and it's a wonderful opening into what actually exists, because looking back at life now, sort of kind of pre-angels, if you will, for me, before I was really, I mean, I've always had a connection, I would say my whole life, with different kinds of energies. Angels, definitely, the nature elements. I had a magical connection with a beautiful dog that we had when I was about 11. But this conscious connecting, this conscious relationship and communication with the angels, it really is like something you just said before, open your heart and let the sun in. It's exactly what happened, where there felt like there was so much darkness in my world and so much pain and sorrow and guilt and anger and shame. They helped me, and always do help me, to open my heart and let the sun in, because it's always there. The sun's always shining, whether we can see it or not. And it's coming home to the warmth of that. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Carol?
Well, I think we could go on all day long here today.
We have to check the time. Okay. Right. So, Carol, do you have anything else you would like to ask Glenyss about?
Well, really, I think Glenyss has just been absolutely amazing to listen to and to talk with today. And I think you're just such a wonderful example, Glenyss, of just trusting and believing and just going with whatever they give you. And I think that this is the simplest thing we all need to do, is just not to make a big deal out of it, just to trust them, listen to them, believe, even if sometimes for some people it might take a little while for them to actually believe this is happening, and that the messages or the drawings or whatever is actually coming from the angels and through them. And I've just so enjoyed talking with you today, Glenyss. It's just been absolutely amazing. And you know, as I said, we could talk on for days, I'm sure, about everything, and it's just delightful.
Well, it's been magnificent. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed talking to both of you and hearing your insights. What wonderful women you are.
Oh, beautiful.
Open-hearted and very insightful. I've learned a lot today.
That's beautiful. Now, one of the things we love to do, and a reminder, everyone, Anna Hart, ANA Heart.com is Glennys's website, and on Facebook. So I imagine people can find your Facebook page, Etsy page, etc. from your website. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. Perfect. One of the things we love to do with our treasured guests is to give them some takeaways, things that have struck particular chords with us that we will take away from our time together. And one of my takeaways, I wonder if you've got the same ones, Carol. Sometimes Carol and I have the same ones. So I've made a few notes. So one of the things that really, and it's really brought home to me how important it is to trust the intuition. Even if we believe we don't have intuition, even if we believe we're too busy to have intuition, trusting that intuition can have major effects in our lives, but they can also have teeny tiny footsteps in our lives. And it reminded me of when the angel said to me, little footsteps echo. And so that was a takeaway that I received from you today, to really tune back into my intuition and make sure I'm paying attention to it. And I also love when you said just love people where they are. That really touched my heart so deeply, because at the end of the day, I think it's what we all want for ourselves. We want to be loved where we are. And when we love ourselves where we are, and at least try to love others where they are, it starts to open up a lot of that energy flow and release a lot of what doesn't work for us, what's not kind or valuable or loving. And the other thing I absolutely loved when you said, it's not really my business. And it reminded me of, is it my business, their business, or God's business? And it's very easy to get caught up in that, I find, in my own world, feeling like I've got to sort things out for other people. There's, the empath in me, my over responsibility that I'm really working to release and be very aware of. And it's getting much easier to realize, I'm over identifying. Is it their business or my business or God's business? So that was a really powerful thing. And I loved the fact that you were so aware that it was their business, not your business. And I wanted to really thank you for bringing those really valuable points to me as a person today, Glenyss.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Well, we've got different ones today, so that's really good. I just thought it was lovely, Glenyss, when you were saying, and this is something that I've had to learn because it used to worry me at first. It didn't matter how deep a meditation I was in, anybody was in, that if we have to go and pick up the children, or we have to have something done at a certain time, the angels will make sure that we come out of the meditation in time. So, because I know some people will say, oh, I haven't got time to do a meditation. I've only got 10 minutes before I have to leave. Well, no matter how deep it is, the angels will get them out of the door in 10 minutes time. So that's a part of the trust, and I think that's really important. The second one that touched a place within my heart was the fact that when you were in so much pain in the hospital, you learnt so much from that. And I truly believe that, we come into this life with certain things that we have to experience and to learn. And sometimes it might be a long, painful experience. And in your case, it was about a year. So, but we always learn something from that. And I think that's being able to trust that this is happening for a reason. So trust and believe and take notice of what the lesson is to learn. And finally, on a bit of a happy note, is I love the way that you talk about it's just playing. And I think that's one of the things that Anaya and I do. We play a real lot about all of this stuff. We sometimes, we have fun when we're doing the programs, but we have a lot of fun just with ourselves. And our board meetings consist of, yes, we'll get down to work, But then we'll have a beautiful big pot of tea, and then we'll read our tea leaves, and we just make fun out of it. And it's about allowing yourself to enjoy life, no matter what's happening in your life. Just have fun, play, and just thank God and the angels and everyone else that you're here in this lifetime and experiencing all of these wonderful things. And I've just so loved talking to you today, Glennys. It's been beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been so wonderful for me. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Glenys. I'm sure this won't be the last thing we'll be doing together. I can already feel other things in the works for us.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. There's a lot more coming up from this little trio here, and I'm excited about it as well.
Me too. So for all you Aussies, Glenys' sanctuary is in
Frankston.
Where is it?
Frankston.
In Frankston, in Victoria.
Yes.
So do you have opening hours? Are there open days?
I have open days, which I usually announce on Facebook. Usually it's a Saturday. Sometimes it's not. If I've got something that's really good fun, live jazz, dancing, stuff like that, I'll be there.
Yeah, good for you.
So I've organised it. People can ring me. I'm open every day just about by appointment if you call me. Otherwise, you can usually find me there on a Saturday, perhaps a Sunday. Look it up on Facebook. Or I do have a little website called angelsanctuary.com.
Oh, nice.
Angelgallery.com, where you can see my open hours.
Okay,
But
beautiful.
feel free to ring.
Yeah. And your mobile number? I've got your mobile number here. Is that the one to give?
Yes.
Okay.
Leave
So,
a text if you can't hit.
Okay, so 0438
786
484. You can ring Glenys on that number. Of course, if you need that number again, you can replay this, which is great. Write it down, Anna Hart, ANAHEART.com for Glenys. For Carol, you can reach Carol at carolsangelwings.com. Yay. And for me, it's angellight777.com. So annahart.com. That will get you everywhere you need to go, and you'll be able to buy the books and the recordings and everything else, the art. Can we have one more look at Metatron, Michael and Uriel, please? Because again, everyone, if you feel guided to submit a name that you feel is right for this painting, please do. Website. Whoops-a-daisy.
Oh, Archangel Raphael just had a ball.
He wants in on the action.
Yes, oh well. Yeah. So let's see what we can do.
So you might need to move your screen and put that back where Raphael is, because I think that was the best way to see it. Glenys?
I'll just move this.
There you go. We get a...
Rather delicately balanced, I'm afraid. So there it is.
Even holding it, yeah. Beautiful. So there you go, everyone. If you feel guided,
Okay, wow.
for that painting, Anna Hart, ANAHeart.com. Wonderful. Thanks, Glenys.
This picture isn't anywhere yet. It's too soon, but you've seen it. I might put a picture up on Facebook.
Oh, good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And we can share that on the Angel Heart Radio Facebook page as well for you, Glenys, and
yes.
Invite people there as well. Wow.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Glenys. It's been wonderful. Thank you for being our very first guest on our very first on-camera A Vision of Angels episode of Angel Heart Radio.
Well, it's
been really good that we've been able to see your paintings and your books that we would not have been able to see if we were just doing it as we normally do it. So this has just been such an exciting way to start the video series. Oh, did I say series?
I'm loving it. So it'll be available on Facebook. It'll be available on my website, angellight777.com. It'll be available on YouTube. It's going to be available everywhere.
Wow.
So that'll
And
be fantastic.
It'll also be on Blog Talk, won't it?
Yes, the radio component of it will also be available on angelheartradio.com. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Carol. Such lovely, lovely times working with you.
Ditto. It's just, I just love doing this. And who would have believed a few months ago that we would be doing this together? Certainly not me. And I absolutely love it. And this is all about listening to what the angels tell us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And experiencing the joy of it. It's so much joy in it for us all. So beautiful. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Glennys. Thank you, angels. Thank you, me. Thank you to everyone who watches or listens. Thank you. Fly yourselves out into the world and remember your own greatness. You know, it's really important to feel that we are diminished by our circumstances or events sometimes. And it's important to really start coming home to the truth that nothing can diminish your light. Nothing can diminish my light. We are all sacred and beautiful beings. And I'd like to remind you to be kind to you, because kindness really matters. And the kinder you are to you, the kinder life will be to you. Thanks, everyone. Look forward to next time.
Thank you all. Bye.
Yes, goodbye. We'll be back. Our show days are the 1st and 4th Fridays in the USA, 7 p.m. Central, I believe. And that is the 1st and 4th Saturdays at 10 a.m. Brisbane time here in Australia. Thanks, everyone. We love you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I was going to say how to stop the meeting now. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.